in ski mountaineering, there's an endless debate, and it's about whether to go. Whether with a brake, without a brake but with a tether, or directly without a brake, without a tether, just with the binding and with the risk of losing the ski. In this video, I will tell the advantages and disadvantages of each of the three methods, and of course, which one I choose. I'm Pablo Raul, ski mountaineering coach, and welcome to the Global SKIMO YouTube channel. I'm going to start by talking about the brake system, which is ultimately the most similar to what's used in alpine skiing. A system that when our ski pops off due to a fall, it automatically pulls out these tabs, and due to the friction with the snow, our ski should stop sooner rather than later. What are the advantages of this system? The first one is safety, as it is the safest system since, in the event of a fall, depending on the tension we set on our binding. With enough force, our ski will come off, detach from us, and we won't have big lever arms that could injure our joint. But logically, if we are in this video talking about the advantage and disadvantage of other systems, is because it has its drawbacks. The first thing a brake like this is going to do is increase the weight of our entire ski setup. And this in ski mountaineering is quite crucial because we spend a lot of time climbing and dragging that material. The second disadvantage is that we're not only skiing on tracks. There will be times when the brake won't be enough to stop our ski. For example, if there's really hard snow or ice, our ski might get lost and go far away, all the way down, especially when skiing on days with a lot of powder snow. The issue of our ski coming off could cause us to actually lose it because it gets buried under the snow and there's no way to find it. And finally, although more and more innovations are being made in this regard and braking systems are being developed, more automatic and reduce those intermediate steps for us. In the end, it's still an extra thing we need to pay attention to when removing skins, putting skins, checking if it should be active or not. Subscribe to the channel because soon I'll upload a video telling you about 4 different types of brakes. So if this is the system you lean towards for that safety, you can decide which system suits you best. Let's keep looking at models. If you're still not fully convinced by that brake due to its disadvantages, let's see why some people, including myself, prefer riding without a brake. First of all, a binding without brakes is much lighter, and this is evident and a factor worth mentioning. But what disadvantages are there to going with the fixation, just as you're seeing it, without brakes and without tie? Well, the main problem is that we could lose our ski, as you might be thinking. If our ski is loose on a slope, there's nothing stopping it right now, and it could slide all the way down the valley. To compensate for this, you need to have a super automated routine when handling the equipment to ensure that your ski is never loose. When I transition to putting skins on or taking them off, the ski is always either in my hand or attached to my boot. At no point do I leave it resting on the snow because we run that big risk. But you'll wonder, okay Pablo, in all those situations, if you follow a strict protocol, it can save the day. But what happens if I take a fall? In that case, the ski will come off and slide down the hill. Well, indeed, this is the big disadvantage of using bindings without a brake and without a leash, as we would lose the ski if it comes off. What we do, those of us who use it this way, and which decreases safety as a downside, is to always keep the binding completely locked. as we would during an ascent, so the front piece will never release. What's the big problem with this? Well, in the event of a fall, the lever action that our ski exerts on our joint would be brutal, very, very strong, and we could probably have serious consequences. I bring this topic to the table because I think it's an important debate. I'd actually love to read your comments on this. It's true that those of us who use this usually have competition skis that are so light, and while it's true, if there were a very, very hard fall, skis actually break before our joints. But there is always that debate and that problem.
And finally, let's talk about that leash solution. Will this have the advantage of this binding due to its weight, lightness, but also the advantage of a binding with a brake to prevent losing the ski and to allow it to release without major issue in case of a fall?
Well, it does solve some of these issues, since, as true as it is, we can use the binding with the assurance that it will release in case of a fall without losing the ski, because it will always be attached. Additionally, it keeps the weight the same, as this invention weighs absolutely nothing, so it's not a problem. It has its disadvantages. One of them is that having the ski attached to our foot in case of a fall, it can be a double-edged sword.
And the thing about skiing is that once it jumps, it can turn on us and hit us and really hurt us. Also, in case of an avalanche, the ski would act completely like an anchor since we have it tied to us. And the avalanche, if it catches it, would pull us down and prevent us from staying in the upper part of the snow. And the big disadvantage of this system, without any doubt, is when handling the equipment, as it makes it a bit slow, that each time we need to take off the ski, we also have to
detach this small carabiner from our boot. Also, with cold hands, it is often hard to manage and is quite difficult, which slows down the speed in the mountains. The debate is open. I'd love to read your comments about which system you prefer and what other advantages and disadvantages you see with other systems. Personally, as I've already said, right now I'm more inclined to go with bindings. Without brakes, I come from the world of competition and I don't like them. I've adapted to it, I've been using it for many years, and so far I haven't had major problems. But with the great innovations happening in the world of brakes, little by little I'm starting to lean towards this more automated and also increasingly lighter braking system. In my competition skis, I have already installed this ATK Revolution brake, which is mandatory for competing.
In national competitions and already in international ones, I'm starting to get used to it.
It's a super minimalist brake that practically adds no weight to the binding. For wider skis, heavier on the descent, I've opted to install a binding with a brake that uses this Evo system, which I'll talk about soon. I hope this video has been useful to you. If so, give it a like and see you soon with another video. Goodbye.